Good evening and thanks for joining us from the Lagos studios of IATV. I am Adegboyega Labiran with the news. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Monday signed the state's 2019 appropriation bill of 873.5 billion naira into law. Sanwo-Olu signed the bill alongside 3 other new bills, including the Neighborhood Safety Corps Agency Bill, Lagos House of Assembly Service Commission Amendment Bill 2019, and the Domestic Staff Service Providers Registration Law, all of which were recently passed by the House of Assembly.
Indeed, it's an exciting day for Lagosians. We must first commend and thank our partners in the House of Assembly. All of the lines that you have recommended for us, we obey them strictly, and like you rightly observed, it's a 55-45 capital to recurrent. If we're lucky and we push on our revenue side, it's not unlikely that before the end of the year we might be sitting to look at it again.
Speaking on concerns that the year is already halfway without a budget, the governor explained that it's permissible by law, but assured of his readiness to ensure full performance of this year's budget in the overall interest of Lagos State.
There's been expenses that have been incurred based on previous year's appropriation, right, which is lawful. You know, the former governor has the right to spend up to a particular percentage of previous year's appropriation. So we need to push on both the revenue and the expenditure side of it, just so that Lagosians can feel the impact of this law that have just been formally accented to.
Sanwo-Olu held the 8th Assembly in the state for bringing out the bills, especially the Domestic Staff Service Providers Registration Law, which aims at regulating the activities of domestic staff and their agents in Lagos State. Still in Lagos, the governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and his deputy, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, have been advised to govern Lagos State with the fear of the Lord and be fair to all in their dealings. Bishop of Lagos West Anglican Communion, Right Reverend James Odedeji, gave the advice in a sermon at the inauguration Thanksgiving service in honor of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu at the Chapel of Christ Delight, Alausa, Ikeja.
It's a special Thanksgiving service put together by Christian bodies in Lagos State in honor of the newly inaugurated administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Political leaders, traditional rulers, and stakeholders in the governance of Lagos State are all here to pray for divine guidance in the next 4 years.
Your being the governor today is not accidental.
The officiating bishop reminded the governor that his election into office was an act of God.
God executed this. God told Jeremiah, I knew you right from your mother's womb. Your absolute loyalty and obedience is first of all to God.
Odedeji advised the governor not to be carried away by the privileges of the office, but rather look unto God for guidance and divine protection.
As you sojourn, that continue to remember us in your prayers.
In a goodwill message, Governor Sanwo-Olu dedicated his coming into governance to God and Lagosians.
We're governor not only for the party, but we're governor for Lagos State. We've said it at the inauguration, our government will be a government for all. It will be a government for people that will even criticize us. Because in that criticism, words of wisdom will come out of it. We will be fair, we will be fair, we will also be a blessing to others.
He urged religious leaders to support his administration in the fight against indiscriminate dumping of refuse and non-adherence to traffic laws in the state. Sanwo-Olu also reeled out some of his administration's program and assured the people of the state that good governance would be his watchword in the next 4 years.
Still in Lagos State, a co-electricity distribution company has promised uninterrupted power supply within its operational territory during the Eid-al-Fitr holidays. The promise is contained in our statement by Godwin Idemudia, the company's general manager, corporate communications. According to him, the company is aware of the high expectations of customers looking forward to enjoying a steady power supply during the holidays. The general manager said that a co-electricity distribution company will ensure equitable distribution of power from the national grid to all customers on the network, adding that the company has mapped out effective strategies to ensure that all customers within the network enjoy regular power supply during the celebration and beyond. And now to Ogun State. The governor, Dapo Abiodun, has made a U-turn over his initial plan not to complete some abandoned projects initiated by his predecessor, Ibikunle Amosun. Abiodun said this during a post-inauguration Thanksgiving service held in Abeokuta, the state capital. The governor had said before he was sworn in that he will complete only projects that had direct benefits to the people, but at the service, Abiodun explained that he had decided not to abandon any of the ongoing projects which his predecessor could not complete. The governor said he would also revamp the education sector after the proposed education summit that will hold soon. And now to Ondo State, where Bamidele Oleyelogun has been re-elected as the Speaker of the Ondo State House of Assembly. Oleyelogun was re-elected today after the inaugural sitting of the Ninth Assembly in Akure, the Ondo State capital. The last 4 years of the House witnessed 2 impeachment plots, but the lawmakers were able to pass 45 bills. At the inaugural sitting of the Ninth Assembly, Bamidele Oleyelogun was re-elected as Speaker, while Iroju Ogundeji returned as his deputy.
So help me God. Sense of humility and consciousness of my obligation to all the stakeholders at all levels.
Only 7 lawmakers were re-elected into the Assembly, while 19 others are new members. For some of the new members, it is time to hit the ground running towards surpassing the achievements recorded by the 8th Assembly.
On what is on ground, on what has been the norm before, we are going to improve on it, bringing our people together.
Definitely this is an avenue for me to showcase what I desire in a way that I will influence the life of my people for quality representation.
Other principal officers were also elected at the inaugural sitting. The Ooni of Ile-Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, has expressed optimism that the prevalent security challenges in the country will soon become a thing of the past. The foremost traditional ruler, Oba Ogunwusi, spoke in Ile-Ife, Osun State, during this year's celebration of World Ifa Festival, where Ifa devotees and traditional religious enthusiasts gathered to celebrate the cultural festival. Oba Ogunwusi, who said the festival will henceforth be regarded as celebration of the voice of Almighty God, noted that the nation will experience relative peace in its political and socio-economic activities in this new year. He enjoined federal government to redouble its efforts in its combating insurgency and put in place more sustainable security architecture that will guarantee societal peace for the citizenry. Traditionalists at the event want government to promote and preserve the nation's cultural heritage in order to improve the spirit of tourism. They, however, implored government and all Nigerians to accord respect to the tradition and cultural heritage for peaceful coexistence of worshippers with different faiths.
Otura means there will be comfort across the land. There will be uprising, but at the end of the day, it will not come to pass. Government should be much more proactive And we should curb the issue of security across the country. We cannot continue like this. Everybody is very afraid. And we will continue to pray for government. It's a new government. And we know that they want to try as much as possible to leave a legacy.
Appealing to the federal government, they should please allow our people to do the Ifaf, the Yoruba and traditional festival to support them, because all over the world, very soon they will be coming to Ife to come and see what is happening in Ile Ife.
When God says He sees peace for us, peace is not alone. Peace is not ordinary. You have to work for peace. That's what God is saying. If government gives recognition, like we come in here to give a report to the Oni in turn should give the report to the president of this country. And then they have to do what they have to do. So if they cooperate with us, that's the first step.
Giving cognizance to Ogun, giving sacrifices to Ogun, will let them have more inspiration about the technology.
A study by the World Bank has revealed that an average of 22% of Nigerians are chronically depressed. In their chat with IATV, a cross-section of people share their experiences on depression and its resultant effect on most youths in the country. Faith Agbetuya has the details.
Psychologists see depression as a serious mood disorder that affects how people handle their daily activities and an intense feeling of sadness as well as other symptoms. Some youths who spoke with IATV News on their experiences of depression linked the recent rise in the tide to high rate of unemployment, anxiety, and genetic or psychological factors.
Depression indeed is a phenomenon that everybody experiences, and sometimes we even experience it without us, being conscious about it. And then, so yes, I have not been depressed, but I have seen clearly some early symptoms of it. And one of it is the fact that you begin to see yourself withdrawing from things that you naturally will find yourself doing.
Some people will still be active. They're still like, some people call it max depression. So you're not showing you're depressed because you don't want people to come to your rescue, that kind of thing. Some people don't like pity. So I know someone that, like, she's still active and all of it, but she's still depressed. So when she goes back to her corner, she's, oh, why is life like this? While for some, it's common that people just switch off.
Some of the respondents said the high rate of suicide due to chronic depression was not surprising to them because, according to them, the society was not doing enough to save depressed individuals.
Becoming a more common thing because people tend to fall into depression, especially in Nigeria. And the thing about this country is that most people feel like you don't have to speak about those things. They teach us that you're supposed to learn how to handle things on your own, and you're not supposed to open up even when you're going through depression.
I think if anybody is trying to create awareness or trying to help people with depression, I think those are probably non-governmental organizations, because not the government per se. In Nigeria now, we don't really care about how people feel. Everybody just busy doing their own thing and all that. A
psychology expert, Professor Ruth Aderanti, suggested that talking to a trusted person when in such state of mind was one of the best ways to avert chronic depression and suicide.
The teachers in the school should make themselves approachable, because when this inability of these youth to express themselves, to talk to people about their problem, can constitute depression. Parents should pay more attention to their children. They should be friendly to their children. Ask questions. What's going on with your school, and make them to feel comfortable to share their problem with them.
Studies from the World Bank's Behavioral Sciences team sees a strong correlation between chronic depression and labor market outcomes, hence the need for government at all levels to rejig all sectors of Nigeria's economy. Faith Agbetuya, IATV News, Lagos.